What's going on, guys? Super excited to talk to you today about what I call essence marketing. Implementing this strategy has literally transformed my business. I'm not a hype guy, so I really mean that when I say it. Like, it literally took my business from super stressful, having to chase clients, to having a business where I can attract clients, where I can maintain the authority frame, where I'm getting 80, 90% show up rates for my sales calls, and I'm actually able to enjoy working with the clients that I bring on. All right. So this is a huge shift. If you're an agency owner, a coach, some sort of expert, a practitioner, and that you help people solve problems online and you want to create more freedom in your business, then you want to stick around and implement this thing called essence marketing. But to give you a little context, I've been running an agency, right? A marketing agency for 5 years. And I really started it lazy, to be honest. I started it getting clients through paid ads, right? I did some organic stuff to get me to about 10K a month, but then I wanted to learn how to tap into this thing called paid ads, right? So I hired a coach and started dabbling with paid ads. Everything the gurus taught me was create an irresistible offer, put that offer out there, send the traffic directly to like a booked call funnel. So this is really direct response marketing. This is really what I was raised in. That's really all I knew. And that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to focus on branding. I didn't want to focus on creating content, even though I heard people like Alex Hormozy, when I worked with him, when he had a software called Alan, he worked with agency owners such as myself. I was one of the first ones, so I got to meet with him every week. And he shared this tidbit of information. Like he said, like 80% of the clients he brought on consumed some of his content. They either went through his podcast, they either read his book. And I thought that was awesome. Nevertheless, I didn't listen. I didn't have a long-term vision. I was very scarcity minded, just trying to run ads, book calls, sign up clients, give those clients to my team, let them handle it. And it just created a very, what I call like a buy or die type of vibe, right? Where these prospects either buy from you or you never hear from them again, right? There's no lead nurture. There's no community building. There's nothing that sells them on you or wanting to be in any sort of relationship with you, because you either come to you for your offer because you have some wild guarantee, right? By the way, guarantees, I definitely don't believe in doing guarantees anymore. I mean, they work, but at what cost? I've had way too many negative experiences where people just do business based on the guarantee because the guarantee circumvents trust, right? Because you've built no trust. Now you're trying to artificially create trust in that prospect's mind by removing all the risk. Like, hey, you don't know me, like me, or trust me yet, but hey, if this doesn't work, I'll give you all your money back. And it's just a relationship that, from my experience, is just no fun. And business should be fun, and it's not cool to bring on clients with that kind of expectation. You tap into what I call essence marketing, which is, you can use that word synonymously with personal branding, with content marketing. I like the word essence because that really resonates with me. I believe your essence is who you are, and people can't compete with that. Sometimes you just got to learn the hard way, and that's how it was for me. Like, for 4 years, I focused on this direct response marketing type of strategy, and it just led to a lot of stress. My sales calls were long, an hour plus, because I'm having to convince them about who I am, right? If you've ever read Jordan Belfort's book, Wolf of Wall Street, basically he talks about how people need to be sold on you, they need to be sold on your company, and I believe they need to be, sold on your process, your unique mechanism, your unique way of doing things. And when you have like a crappy marketing process, when it's just offer driven, you have to do all of that in the sales process. And it's very laborious. I guess the word is very time consuming. And for me, I hated it. It's fine to do that early on, but for me, being on sales calls all day, having 5 booked calls on my calendar, like that makes me want to throw up now. Like, that's not fun. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. Especially when only like 2 of them show up. One of them's just a complete asshole. So it gets you, it rubs you the wrong way. It messes up your energy and your flow for the day. At least for me, then I would just end up so drained at the end of the day because of this process. And I couldn't even do any other work at my business. And sure, I had, for a season, I had a closer. My brother, he was solid. He closed really well, at least like 25, 30%. So I didn't have to deal with that. But then he got burned out. I was like, man, I can't deal with all these guys. It's becoming too much. I got to go back and focus on my gym. So the process was broken. I believe that process is broken 100%. And just to clarify what I'm talking about, direct response, run an ad. Here's an offer, 90 clients in 90 days for a dentist, 90 patients in 90 days, or you don't pay, right? That kind of stuff. That process is broken and it leads to a very hard sales process. Conversely, when you focus on content marketing, your essence marketing, where you are selling them on you and your unique mechanism before they ever talk to you. Like, that is literally the game changer right there, right? So that's what I started implementing. And that all came from just asking myself the hard questions. I'm like, there's got to be a better way to get on sales calls for only 10, 20 minutes, to have them already pre-sold on my offer, on what I do, on who I am as a person before we ever talk, before we ever hop on a sales call. And sure enough, the result was awesome. Like, and side note, business is always like a thesis. Like, you come up with a hypothesis and then you test it. I can say that's how my last 10 years of business is just like, a lot of them have failed. Like, oh, this one didn't work. But if you can think like that, at least for me, it helps free me up from the stress of like, oh, this one thing has to work or else I'm screwed, compared to having just like an archaeologist mindset where you're just trying to discover what works. Like, you're able to take risk, and if it doesn't work, you move on to the next thing. That's something I would tell to myself just getting started. Anyway, I digress. Back to the main. So like I said, I finally had enough of doing the old way of marketing. And what really put the nail in the coffin was I heard one of my friends I've been following on Facebook for a couple years. He's got a similar type business. And he's like, dude, I have like no stress in my business right now. I have like 0% stress. And I know him enough to where he wasn't BSing, right? And that just made me so mad. I'm like, what the heck? Like, dude, I have to be doing something way wrong. Like, this is not cool, dude. Like, what? You have no stress? Like, I was pissed, but I was also inspired. Like, all right, I got to change some stuff here. And that's hard for me because I'm very much like not a niche hopper. I will stick with things. I'm committed. I will stick with things even when they get hard. Like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not just going to go to the grass is greener on the other side. Like, no, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing because I believe that's where the breakthrough comes. And that's how I've been able to succeed as long as I have. I had a gym agency for a long time, and, through COVID, I stuck with it, was able to make it work, right? So those characteristics are awesome. I'm sure you're like that as well, but sometimes they can shoot you in the foot. Because sometimes you got to listen to the frustration, and you've got to be able to pivot, and you've got to be able to ask yourself the tough questions. And those questions for me is like, what do I really want? What type of business am I trying to build? And what I really came up with is like, the way I'm bringing on clients is causing the most stress in my business, and it's just not working. So the old way of direct response, straight to an offer, was just, I was done. Finally decided, one of those breaking points, and came up with the new strategy of essence marketing, and the results were awesome. Like, I started running content style ads where I'm delivering value and insight and wisdom that positioned me as the authority, as the guide, right? And the relationship was just crazy. What I found when I would hop on sales calls, it would literally be like 20 minutes. These people telling me, hey, I watched your YouTube video, or hey, I watched your VSL. So let's say for my dental agency, for example, right? One of the recent clients I signed up, it was literally like a 10-minute call. It felt like I was talking to a referral because he already consumed all my content on YouTube and on Instagram, and he already knew me. He knew my values. He knew what I was about. Okay. He knew the unique mechanism that I teach with my dental agency. It's all about video ads. It's all about the IG funnel. It's all about using our call center, speed to lead. So in my VSL, I really cover those things. He was able to consume that. We hopped on a call, and he was like, yeah, I like your process. I think you're a solid deal. I like that your dad was a dentist. So he already knew my story, right? So he already knew a lot about me, which just made a very frictionless conversation where I was able to maintain the frame and have authority in what I do because he's coming to me now. Because I don't know if you've done a lot of sales calls and you know how shitty it feels to be the one when they flip the script on you and they try to grab that power frame. And they're like, tell me about you. Why should I listen to you? Why are you any different than any of my others agency or any of these other coaches? And it's like, I'm done with that, dude. I'm done with that. I won't even do business with those types of people because I'm committed to this new way of doing business, which is essence. The more of the results that I found was like, I had more white space on the calendar, meaning I didn't have a bunch of booked calls. So my volume slowed down a ton, but I was able to increase my show rates where I had like a 90% show rate now. Okay, my close rate's like 75, 80% compared to like 20 or 30%. And that's all a result of doing good marketing, right? There's a saying that good marketing creates easy sales, crappy marketing creates very difficult sales. So let's break it down more. Like, what is Essence Marketing? And I guess you can explain it a little bit like, hey, your vibe attracts your tribe, like attracts like all of those sayings are true, but sometimes they're like intangible. Like, what does that actually mean? For me, what that means is actually, once again, coming back to the 3 things people need to be sold on is you as a person. Second, they need to be sold on your unique mechanism, and then your company. But most importantly, with Essence Marketing, it gets the job done with the first 2. Unique mechanism, the way of doing things, your unique system, how you get them results, whoever your client is, right? Whoever your perfect dream avatar client is, you got to have a clear outcome and then show them exactly how your way is different, right? How your way is unique and how you position that, how you talk about it. And all of that can be done in your marketing, in your YouTube videos, on your Instagram page, on your Facebook profile. The first part is really getting people sold on you as a person. To drive this point home or to illustrate this point, one of my mentors, Dan, he talked about someone signed up with him as a client because he bought chickens. I'm like, dude, that's hilarious. Like, this dude must be like a homesteader type of person. And it's just funny because it's like when you feel that affinity with somebody, you're just like way more likely to do business with them. Like, we like people like ourselves. Like, that's just the way humanity is. I like to do business with people that think like me. And in order to really tap into Essence Marketing, you got to know yourself, right? So there has to be this level of self-discovery where you have to really take time to reflect and journal. Like, who are you? How do you want to show up on social media? Like, what parts of your life, what do you value? For example, for me, like, I'm all about freedom. I'm all about freedom. I'm not about long sales calls, having a complex, funnel. I'm all about simplicity. I'm all about having fun. I'm a family guy. I've got 3 kids. These are all the things that matter to me. I would rather have freedom than some huge business, managing, operating some large teams and all of that. I'm not into that. I'm also not into hard sales. I'm all about personal branding. Like, those are my values. I value a man of faith. So like, those are aspects that I can clearly articulate and focus on communicating in my content. And this stuff works for any business, right? I'm using this in my dental agency, but I'm also using it right now, right? In this YouTube channel. I use this channel to grow my brand, to grow my Freedom Creators coaching business, where I help online creators, agency owners, coaches really build freedom into their business using these types of strategies. By the way, little plug, I'll put more info below. Like, this stuff works. Like, the last 2 clients I brought on, they all signed up with me because they resonated with my message of freedom. Like, yes, that is what I want as well. I want to create freedom in my life. I like that you're about that. I'm not a Hormozy guy, right? I'm not trying to create a $1 billion business. That is not my value. I'm not here to sacrifice everything in my life, my family time, my free time. Nah, man, I want to make money so I can have freedom of choice. I can put my kids in the school I want to. I can drive the car I want to drive. I can have a lot of fun. And yes, make good money as well. Literally, the stuff the content I put out there and everything I'm telling you, it works, man. They signed up with me because of that very reason, because somewhere in their life, they realize they don't have that freedom and they need to simplify their business model and create that freedom in their life, because that is what drives them and that's what drives me. So people that I do business with are going to have that core value. That's just the way it is. So it's really fun. It is really fun. It is really exciting to realize my hypothesis was true. I can attract clients. I don't have to chase them down anymore. Okay. Through Essence Marketing, through showing who I am, through showing my values, through showing my personality, showing my hobbies, stuff like that, being the guide, being someone that can help them, being the Yoda to the Luke, being the good old Morpheus to the Neo, like taking that position in the marketplace. It really is a game changer. It's just a way more fun way of doing business. So whatever type of online business you have, like, implement this, focus on honing in your story, reflect, like journal, have a sheet. And I have a sheet that I'm constantly going back and like reviewing, reflecting on different aspects of my life where I learned different principles and learning how to communicate that. like that is going to be the number one skill that will grow your business 100%. Hands down, I believe that. I just wanted to share a little bit on this good old YouTube ramble. If you're still here, good for you, man. Give me a like and a follow and a subscribe or whatever, because you made it. You made it. So that's what's helped me. That's what's been transforming my business. I'm all in on this. And if you want some help with it as well, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. We can have a conversation. I can send you details if my coaching program's open. Sometimes it's closed. Sometimes it's open because I don't like to overwhelm myself. So sometimes it'll be closed and there'll be a wait list. So that being said, hopefully you got some value. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace out. See you soon.